Opening the doors on your model doesn't have to be difficult or scary. In this video, I'll show you 2 ways to do it. I'm going to show you how to make 2 different door hinges that function, and an easy way to make sure the doors line up. We did a video on making exposed door hinges. The link is in the description if you missed it. This time, we're making concealed hinges. I'm not cutting out the doors as the first step. They're already aligned. I'm saving that till the end. Kit plastic is understandably thick. I just want the edges of the doors to be more realistic. No matter which hinge you do, first prep the plastic along the door seams. I put striping tape over the door seams on the outside, so when I turned it over, from the inside, I could see the areas where I need to thin the plastic. For better definition, I'm going to mark the inside with a pencil. I want to thin the material from the inside to make it easier to cut out the door and to make the edges more to scale. Taking the tape off to see the results of the grinding. I can certainly see how much thinner the plastic is. It looks like I need to grind a little more this way and a little more off around the rockers. We'll be in good shape. I'm going to start scribing the door seam. I'm not going to go through. I'm just going to work it a little bit to open up a little depth on the seam. If you prefer, you can use the back side of a hobby knife blade. I haven't cut all the way through, but it's close enough that it'll be easier to cut through later. The first hinge I'm going to make is a metal hinge. It's similar to the hinge I made in the trunk video. Link in the description. To make the hinge, I use brass. I prefer using brass because it can be readjusted. I don't like using steel paper clips because they fatigue and break easily. I'm going to use the same size material I used to make the trunk hinge. 32 thousandths brass rod, 1/16 inch tube. You might use a different size. This is about as thin as I would go. The rod fits in the tube and forms the pivot. This is how this hinge works. The tube is attached to the car, the rod passes through it and extends out both ends. The rod ends are attached to the trunk. The rod in the tube allows it to pivot. I need to measure the height of the vertical tube. I want the tube to be as tall as possible for stability, but not get in the way of the upholstery that goes on the interior of the door. I'm going to cut the brass with a hobby knife, just a simple roll. Keep the knife blade at 90 degrees. Cut some grooves when it's deep enough. Sanding it to get a clean edge. Excellent, that turns nice. The tube will be attached to the fender, but it will cantilever over the leading edge of the door. It will be slightly embored right where the tips of my divider are. I know from that point the rods will extend over the door, about 2/3. So my measurement should be about that long after it's bent. With the tube on the rod, I'll do equal amounts on either side. There should be a little extra because you're going to make a slight hoop. So if that's my measurement, I'll cut it right here. And now I'll make 2 bends in the rod at 90 degrees. It's important to get this at 90 degrees so that when the door opens, it doesn't sag down or rise up. I'll make the second bend with the tube on because, well, I can't bend it and then put the tube on. It needs a little more bend. Now it needs a little less bend. And now it's just right. When I lay it down, they both sit flat. You'll notice that one is slightly longer than the other. That's to our advantage. That will make sense later. So this is where this part will go. At the moment, the pivot is flush against the door. I need to get that pivot point away from the door, just a little bit. So when the door opens, the front end tips in. Checking again for 90 degrees. Now I will cut the tubes that mount the rods to the door. I don't want them too close to the hinge, and I want to leave a little extra sticking out. The tubes are the attachment point to the door. The rods will be able to slide in and out easily, so we can take the door off if we need to. Yeah, that looks like a good height. Next, I'll make the bridge. I'll stack these 3 sheets of plastic together and glue them. That will form the bridge that attaches to the fender. The bridge raises the pivot point so the leading edge of the door can tip in under the fender. When I use 2-part epoxy as an adhesive, I use a toothpick to spread it and apply it. When I'm using super weld, which is a UV adhesive, I use a wire because if I use a toothpick, a lot of the glue would soak into the wood. This way I can get it on the end just a little bit and not have it soak in. Makes it easier to apply. I glued the hinge to the bridge. This is the bridge, and this space is very important. This is the space that the leading edge of the door will tip into. The hinge is now complete. It would work for the driver's side door or the passenger side door. Before I glue the hinge in, I'm going to cut through the seam on the leading edge of the door, right where the hinge overlaps, so I don't have my cutting tools around the hinge. The rest of the door stays in place for stability. I'm cutting away the middle area, leaving a little attached at the top and the bottom. I cut all the way through right here. Now I'm ready to glue the hinge in. By sighting down this way, making sure it's not tilted in or out, I have to make sure the hinge is at 90 degrees in all directions. For now I'm using small dots of epoxy, more like spot welds, just to tack it in. I'm now adding a generous amount of epoxy to hold everything securely in place. I'm just doing it to the tube, not the little bits of rod that stick out. While we wait for the glue to set, I want to remind everyone that you can help us do what we do on this channel by becoming a patron of Model Car Muse. Head on over to our Patreon page. The link is in the description. As a patron, you'll see posts and updates from my bench as a thank you for your support. Now that the hinge is on, I can cut open the door. Cutting out the door after gluing in the hinge keeps it in perfect alignment. I'm using the saw blade and it's binding a little. I need something to help steady the body. I'm going to get a brace. It's slow going with the sawtooth blade, but it makes a very nice cut. I can also use the scriber, just pull bits out at a time. I'll also show you the technique of using string. It's popular to use strong thread like upholstery thread or sailmaker's thread. A lot of people wrap it around their fingers like dental floss. One thing you can do, if you have a flexifile, take out the grit, wrap your string around it like this. You can then cut through, you can control the tension really well. Let's give that a whirl. I'm going to wrap it around a bunch of times. I'm just going to hold that on there. I can bring that down in the groove, just guide it through. Tilt it a little bit towards the slot that's already there. That'll help guide a straight line. And it actually goes pretty quick. It actually goes quicker than the saw blade or the scriber. That's really impressive. I think having it on a flexi-file and having the tension on it, it's a big help. It creates a slightly wider gap. I'll show you later how to strengthen the door edge and make that gap a little smaller. I'm cutting on an angle, leaning the thread into the groove. That'll help steer it in the right direction. Should be free and clear. The pivot point is good, but it actually catches the front edge of the door on the back edge of the fender. I'll have to open the inner edge so the door can tip in. It's still a little too thick along there. That's why it's good to have the removable door. you can actually see how thick the fender is. I'll remove some plastic from the inside. The gap in the door won't change at all. It'll look the same from the outside. I'm shaving into the inner part of the plastic where it's just too thick, and the front edge of the door catches on it as it opens. I'll use a file, and I'll just go in there gently and open that up. The advantage of having one rod that's longer than the other is that the longer one can go into the tube first, the shorter one can go in the tube second, and you're in. Now the front edge of the door tips in nicely under the fender. Oh, that lines up perfectly. Except for the back end. Have to build the door jamb as a stop, so the door doesn't tip in too far. The second type of hinge I'm going to make is with magnets. You may have seen it on this door in the magnet video that I did. The link is in the description. Of course, they stick together, but they also pivot and hold themselves together, which is why you can make a hinge out of them. One of the advantages is, once you have the hinge all together, glued in, locked in, you can slide it apart, paint your door, work on it, do whatever you need to do, then slide it back together, and the door will pivot. It's also great if you have like a drag car with doors that are often removable on the real car. You can slide them off when you do your display at a show. To make this hinge, you'll need some mini magnets. I used mini neodymium magnets. Some small bits of plastic, a short plastic rod. Similar to the metal version, it involves 2 arms and a pivot. The 2 arms hold 2 magnets. They're glued to the door. There's a post, and that post also has 2 magnets. I'm using 2mm magnets. They will be glued on the ends of this tube. You can also use a rod. The rod should be tall enough that it makes a stable hinge as close as possible to the top of the door and the bottom of the door, but also leaves enough room for the magnets on the top and the bottom and the 2 plastic brackets that will hold it in place. I'm going to glue the magnets to the post. Hope it sticks nicely. A little bit of UV light. The magnet I glued to the end of this rod has a second magnet stuck to it. I'm going to glue this plastic bracket to the second magnet. And by the way, I'm using plastic tweezers, non-magnetic. Using a piece of paper. Is it square? That's the kind of thing that happens when you work with magnets. They just want to zip around. These 2 brackets will attach to the door, and now I will make the bridge that attaches to the fender. I'm looking for plastic that's the right size. I'm going to cut some bits that will make the bridge. I have plastic to plastic. I'm going to glue this with ultra-thin cement. As soon as that sets up and hardens, I'll attach it to the car. Just like I did with the other one, the seam between the leading edge of the door and the fender has been cut all the way through, so I won't have to cut it out with the hinge in the way. Like with the other door, I'm double checking to make sure that the hinge is vertical, horizontally, and vertically. With the 2 brackets in place, I'll tack in the bridge. When I take the door off, I'll add a little more glue to all the contact points, just to reinforce it. It hinges. I can take the door off, and I can put it back on. With the hinges in place, you can remove the door. The first thing I do is I want to thin down this edge so it looks like the rolled edge, the crimped edge of the door skin. It's very thick now. So I'm going to file down the edge to get it thin. I've thinned out this section. You can see over here, I haven't touched it. You can see how thick the plastic is. This edge, now that it's thinned out, is very realistic. It's also very fragile. To strengthen it, I'm going to add just a little bit of super glue along the back edge and just an ever so small amount along the very edge of that to make it strong. I don't want to get it on the outside of the door. If I do, I'll just sand it off. This is going to make the edge of the door strong, so it's less apt to chip paint or primer when you open and close the door. Then I'll go over it with a sanding stick, finish it off, and make sure the gaps aren't uneven between the body and the door edge. The reason to use super glue is because it does soak into the plastic a little bit. That can afford you the ability to sand it and just even up the edge and still have that super glue nice and rock hard to protect the edge. Then if you want real detail, you can add a little weather stripping in there and when you put your inner door card in. These bridges that I made for my demonstration are very robust. They may encroach on something in your build, whether it be the interior bucket or the inner fender walls. Feel free to minimize them so they fit your application. It's a balance between strength and function. So now we have two ways to make hinges. With both types of hinges, the doors are now removable. That's good for painting or installing the interior or just not getting in the way while you're building. Between the two, the brass rod is sturdier, keeps alignment better. It's good for heavier doors, but it is meant to be glued in once the car is complete, so the doors would no longer be removable. The magnets align well, but not always perfectly. They have a little more play, but it's quicker to fabricate and install. Plus, they're removable like doors on race cars. Choose whichever fits your needs. Now that you have your hinges in, don't forget when you make your door jambs, add magnets. So when you close the door, it clicks and it stays perfectly aligned.